It's not about danger, aliens. It's about why there isn't danger. How do you know? Why can't he explain that? Independent journalist Michael Shellenberger says, listen, the government isn't being straight with us, and there's a reason. He's out with a new report on this on his Substack Public. It is a must subscribe. And he joins us now. First, all the best to you and the family for a blessed Christmas and New Year.
Happy holidays to you, Chris. Good to see you.
So, Mike, what do you know? Why do you think they're not being straight with us?
Well, look, I mean, I think in that one clip you just showed, Biden does something very similar that Defense Department spokesperson John Kirby did last week, which is that they say on the one hand, they say, we're looking into it. Then 3 days later, Kirby said, okay, we've looked into it, implying that they had looked into nearly 6,000 cases in about 2 or 3 days, which is very difficult to believe. I've been asking the FBI and the DOD and the DHS, FAA for the data. They won't share it with me. Biden similarly said, he said, yeah, we looked into it. There's nothing to worry about, and we're still looking into it. So you sort of see these two things going on. They say they're looking into it, but they already looked into it. That's one of the many fishy things. The other one is that they'll sort of say, well, we know that there's nothing to worry about and there's no anomalies. And then other times they'll say, we know there's nothing to worry about, but we haven't figured out what all the drone incursions are. Chris, I think it's important for people to know that this has evolved from being a story about ordinary citizens seeing very unusually shaped drones or so-called drones, unidentified drones, over their homes in New Jersey, to really a broader question of why have they been letting all these drone incursions occur over U.S. military bases? I mean, I didn't realize how prevalent this was. I mean, it's Langley for 17 days. This was written up in the in the Wall Street Journal last month. 17 days of being able to stop unidentified drones flying over Langley, but also Picatinny Arsenal, Naval Weapons Station Earl, 4 separate U.S. military bases in Britain, 1 military base in Germany, Camp Pendleton, one of the most important Marine Corps bases in Southern California, Air Force Plant 42 Skunk Works, where they developed the stealth bomber, where they're developing stealth fighters, Hill Air Force Base in Utah, the Minuteman silos in Northeast Colorado. I mean, that's just a partial list of all the places where they have had uncontrolled drone incursions. The idea that that's not something you would worry about is absurd. Controlling airspace has been one of the main goals of the Air Force since World War II. It's a pride of the Air Force that they control the airspace. And of course, the base commanders have been worried about this. They've been developing counter drone technologies. It's not working. So I think, look, not to bury the lead a little bit here, but the U.S. military doesn't control U.S. airspace either over homes in New Jersey or over our most sensitive military installations.
So I had Crenshaw and Berra on the other night, which was very impressive to me because Republican and Democrat on the screen at the same time, both saying that they want to deal with this. Both of them came out of the classified session saying, look, I don't think that these are bad actors that are up there. And I think this is really about the government not having its game together in terms of who's supposed to deal with this. And maybe we have to do something as Congress to create standards and create funding for the kinds of detection systems that they don't have now and figure out what the system of hierarchy is. Does that make sense?
I mean, of course, I agree that they need to sort out who has the power to go after these drones. You do want some local and state authority to be able to go after them. But I mean, Chris, if we really thought that those drones were threatening people, then they would have scrambled fighter jets, and there's all this concern about, oh, the dangers of knocking them down. Look, I agree. On the one hand, I don't think there's any evidence that the drones are being controlled by a foreign power. The people that have asserted that it's been a game of telephone where you've seen people sort of say the Iranians or the Chinese. It lacks both motive and mechanism to pull off an operation like that. If
The
they
loose
were to
nuke
do
stuff
it,
is no good too. And then
What's
your
that?
pal Rogan said it makes them, and the loose nukes thing was a dumb thing also. And then your pal Rogan says it's the best explanation he's heard, and it goes viral. This is the problem when government isn't transparent. You create a vacuum, and it gets filled with poo-poo. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.